Hello, and thank you for using the TrainTrack software. In this video, we will be going over some of the more advanced features of the client and web interfaces and how to use them. First, let's talk about ways to get help from the interface directly. So if you click on the Help tab at the top, you will see an option for online help files. This will take you to our user manual for this interface where you can see everything grouped together by category. And whenever you see the word tutorial next to a link, you can expect to see step-by-step written out instructions on the left and correlating illustrations on the right-hand side, so it's super easy to follow along. If you go back, you can scroll through and find other items you need help with. And if you're not able to find what you need help with, you can always go to the very bottom and click on Index. And this will take you to the list of everything sorted alphabetically by the keyword. So here you can scroll down and see what you are looking for, or click Control and F on your keyboard and type in a word or a couple letters of what you're looking for, and then you can scroll through and until you're able to find what you need help with, and then click on that link to be taken to that help file. All right, so if we go back here, the other option would be to search support articles or submit a support ticket. So you can do both from either buttons, and you can either submit a support ticket here at the bottom, or you can type in, if you have more of a technical question, like maybe you're seeing a message on your screen that you're not sure what it means, or if you have you want to learn more about user permissions, for example, you just type in a couple of keywords and then look through your results to see what will best fit your needs and click to open that knowledge base article. In this example, you can see all of the user levels and their permissions listed on the screen, but sometimes you'll also be able to see either a PDF or a link to a video that will explain something more in depth. In this example, we have this really great diagram that shows each interface and all the user levels and their permissions. Okay, let's talk about the series feature first. So the series feature can be used in several different ways. Um, for example, if you have several modules and you don't want the second in the series or the second module to be required or available until the first one has been completed and the third to not be required until the second has been completed, you can use the series feature for this. So let's use module 1, 2, and 3 for this example. So you will go to module 1 or whatever the first training is in your series, and then you will go to requirements, groups, and series. From here, you can select the second in the series. So let's select module 2, and then you'll be able to enter in the number of days you would like to pass once the first module has been completed until module 2 is required. So let's just do 3 days. So what this means is everyone that's required to complete module 1, as soon as they complete it, 3 days after that's completed, module 2 will be required. You can also have several be required after module number 1 if you want module 2 and then a different training to be required. Or if you want to set up a third in the series, you can double click on module 2. So now we are on module 2 and also in requirements groups series. And here we can set up a series from the second module to the third. So module 3, and then enter the number of days you want to pass before module 3 is required after module 2 has been completed. So let's just do 3 days again, and you're all set. Now, all you have to do is add requirements to the first module. So let's go back to module 1. You can add requirements by department, individual, job title, or everybody by clicking required for all, selecting yes. So what will happen is you will add the requirements to module 1, and you do not need to add requirements for modules 2, 3, and anything after 1, because as soon as module 1 has been completed and the number of days you indicated has passed, module 2 will be automatically required based on the requirements of module 1. Same with module 3. Once module 1 and 2 have been completed and the number of days has passed since module 2 has been completed, then module 3 will be automatically required. So you only need to worry about adding completions, or I'm sorry, the requirements for the first in the series. You can also use this feature for refresher courses. So, for example, if you want your employees to take a CPR course, and then you want them to also retake this course, but a slightly more condensed version, just a refresher course, you can do the same thing by going to requirements, groups, and series, and add CPR refresher as the second in the series, and then enter in the number of days. So let's say 6 months after CPR has been completed, 180 days is approximately 6 months. So we'll enter in 180 here. So what will happen is everyone required to complete CPR, once they complete it and 180 days have passed, CPR refresher will be automatically required for them to complete. Now, if you want this to be an ongoing retraining on the refresher, you can go to the refresher. Let's delete this so it's not confusing. You can go to the refresher and enter an expiration period there. So for example, 180 days. So then once CPR is completed, 180 days have passed, CPR refresher is now required. Once it's completed, 180 days, the refresher is required again. So if you want to set it up that way, you can as well. And lastly, you can also use this feature to have a class training and then have your employees come and take an exam through TrainTrack. So let's just use CPR as an example. Again, let's say you schedule a class for CPR, so you would go and schedule a class from that training, and then you can go and set up the series from here to require, instead of CPR refresher, you'll call the training something like CPR exam or CPR practical, something along those lines. Same thing, you will set up the number of days before it's due, so probably something shorter, like 1 day after the class has been completed, they're able to log in and now they can actually take the CPR exam or practical. Let's see here. If you ever need to edit a series, you can always change, the training required here by selecting a different training from the dropdown. If you want to delete a series, you can always click the red X here on the right-hand side. The next feature we'd like to go over will be the parent-child modules. So if you want to eliminate some data entry and be able to add completions for multiple training records really quickly, you can set up the parent-child modules. So basically what you'd want to do is designate what training will be a parent training. So let's use Microsoft Office for an example. So Microsoft Office will be the parent training, the umbrella training where the child modules will be associated or underneath it. So we'll go to requirements groups and then go to child training. And we'll add any training to be a child module or under the Microsoft Office parent umbrella. So Microsoft Office, let's go ahead and add oops, that's the number. Let's use oops, yeah, I know. Let's use the training title rather than the number. Let's do Microsoft Excel. And then let's add a couple more. So we'll do Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Outlook, and Microsoft Word. And again, if you just type in the first few letters of what you're looking for, it will take you to that spot on the list as a little shortcut. Okay, so now that we've set up the parent-child modules here, we have the parent training, which is Office, and child modules of Excel, Outlook, and Word. So what this means is once your employees have completed Excel, Outlook, and Word, Office will be marked complete automatically. Or in reverse, you can also add a completion for Microsoft Office, and that will automatically add a completion for all the three or however many child modules you have listed here. So um, that should save you a lot of time. And you can also use this for things like new hire orientation, where you know that your employees will need to complete, 10, 20 plus training records to be hired on. Instead of adding completions for all the individual training records, you can set the, onboarding or new hire orientation as the parent and assign the child modules to that parent, and then add completions just for the parent training to be able to add completions for all the child modules automatically really quickly. So something else you can do here is indicate how many of the child modules will be required for the parent to be marked complete. So we have 3 training records listed here. So if you want all 3 to be completed before the parent is marked complete, you can select 3, or you can also select 2 so that if any 2 of the 3 training records here have been completed, the parent training will still be marked as complete. Same thing here. If you ever want to edit any of the child modules, you can do that by selecting a different training. You can always delete child modules. Uh, let's, uh, let's delete one more. All right. The other way you can use the parent-child feature is to substitute one training for another. So let's say, for example, as long as Microsoft Office or Microsoft Excel is complete, you want Office to be marked complete, or however, whatever 2 trainings you want to be able to be substitute for one another, you can set them up as parent-child, put one here in this employee needs to complete field, and now if Office is marked complete, Excel will be marked complete, and vice versa. If Excel has been marked complete, Office will also be marked complete. All right, let's talk about importing data next. So if we go on the left-hand side and click on Import Data, you will be taken to the Import menu. There are 5 different data types you can import in bulk. So just select which type of data you'd like to import. Let's use employees as an example. So first you will want to export the template. You'll be needing to import the data. So let's put this on our desktop. Let's see. We'll save that template, click OK, click Close. And now we can go and locate that template that we just exported. All right, from here you can start pasting in or typing in all the last names, first names, and any other data you might have that you can enter on this spreadsheet. Okay, so for last name, you can, all right, so you can enter or type in first names, last names. The status can be left either blank, and that will automatically import the employee as active, or if you want to import somebody as inactive, just type in inactive in this field, but we'll go ahead and leave it blank so they can be imported as active. Then you'll want to enter your employee number. So every employee and training record must have a unique number associated. It doesn't have to be a number. It could be alphanumerical or just letters or whatever you prefer. It just no 2 people can have the same number. So let's go ahead and come up with a number. You can also leave this field blank and TrainTrack will assign a random number, something similar to what I have typed out here. Then you have department. Then we have the supervisor, last name and first name, or you can also type in the ID number of the supervisor if you prefer. Either one works. You can do just the ID number or first and last name. And then this will be first name. So I'm going to skip this field because I already put in the supervisor information. I don't need to put their ID number also unless you want to. You can type in whatever shift they work, location, their phone, job title, their start date. So the start date is fairly important. We highly recommend you have a start date entered for all of your employees. This is so that TrainTrack can properly calculate due dates. So the due dates are calculated either from the employee's start date plus the grace period listed on a training, or the training release date plus the grace period. So important to have a start date listed for all of your employees so they don't look like they're out of compliance or have been out of compliance for a while if they are brand new. You can also enter in anything you'd like in the other fields and enter an email for them as well. Okay, an email is also recommended to be entered on this spreadsheet if you have their email address because one, you'll be able to send them automatic email notices if you would like, and two, you if you have email set up as the default setting for your employees' usernames or passwords, temporary passwords, you will want to make sure that there's something in the email field the very first time you import or add the employee into TrainTrack. Employee type. Let's see here. You can also link a file in this field. You can enter their date of birth, address, social, home. Any other information is optional. So technically, all you really need is just somebody's first and last name, and that's enough information to import them into TrainTrack. But of course, the more information, the better, so that you don't have to enter it later. And keep in mind with the column headers, please do not change the order of the column headers and do not change the names of the column headers in a row one. Leave everything in row one as is. You are able to, expand to see what the full column name is, but just don't change don't rearrange them or rename them anything. All right, so now we are pretty much ready to import. So let's go ahead and save this spreadsheet and go back to TrainTrack. We'll go browse and believe I saved it to desktop. Yep. Click on import once you've selected your file and you will see records that have been imported. Here is our import. So we can click on delete verification records because we have reviewed and confirmed that our import should have went through. And now when we go to the employee list and refresh, you will now see the employee that we just imported listed here. Keep in mind, you can actually reuse this spreadsheet over and over. So you can continue using the spreadsheet that you save and just keep adding names and everything associated to the same spreadsheet. And when you import this spreadsheet, TrainTrack will recognize if the employee already exists and just look for any changes that need to be made. So if you just need to change several people's department or supervisor or job title, anything you need to change, you can simply make the changes on this spreadsheet, save it, and re-import it. TrainTrack will look for anyone that's new and add them to the database if they are not already in there. And anyone that's existing, it will just look for changes that need to be made. Okay. Alrighty, let's talk about custom reports now. So if you go to the report menu, you will notice the options here for custom report filter as well as two designers. Let's go over the custom report filter first. So this is a really great tool if you need some very specific data included on your report. So in number one, you will select the type of report you're looking for. So if it's a due report, history report, status report. So let's select status of required training for all employees. And then you can filter in data from any two fields in TrainTrack. So let's say for field name, we want status of required training where um, job title, and then you can select the operator. So job title equals whatever it is or contains some of these words or letters. So let's do job title contains manager because I want to include all managers, not, just HR manager or sales manager. So we're going to do job title contains manager. So if they have the word manager somewhere in their job title, they will be included on this report. And then you can select and or from the third option here and pick something else. So for example, where revision is greater than 0 or where, training number contains SOP. So anything you can think of that you want to filter and include on a report, you can go ahead and select up to two filters here. So job title and revision. And then you can select a date range for your results. Lastly, you can select how you want the report sorted. So let's say we want it sorted by the employees. You can then click to view the report or export to a file. Let's go ahead and review that report. So what we asked for is a status of required training for all employees where the job title contains manager or where revision is greater than 0. So it sounds like a handful, or a mouthful, but it really just filters out just for the data you have selected. And as with all reports, you can change the logo to be your company logo. So if you just go to options and settings, click on add your logo to reports, that's where you can go and change this to be your own company logo rather than ours. Let's go back and talk about the report designer. So these two are fairly similar. It's just that one is for required training and one is for training that's already been completed. So let's take a look at designer of completed training. So designer, what that means is that you can actually design your own report by selecting which data you would like displayed in up to 7 columns. So you can either reuse a previously created custom report or filter, um, or you can create a new one by clicking the button at the bottom here that's for a new record. And that will take you to a blank screen like this where you can select what you want in up to 7 columns. So let's say in column 1, I want employee number. Yeah, let's do employee number. And number 2, let's say I want the last name. In column 1, if I want their first name. And number 4, let's say I want their shift. Number 5, let's say I want their completion status. 6, let's do completion date. And for 7, let's do supervisor. From here, you can then select if this is only for one training or for all training records. You can also select if this is for all employees or just one department or everybody, one job title or all job titles. So if you have anything selected in number 2, it will filter out anything that's not supposed to be there. Lastly, you can select a date range if you only want results to be showing for a specific date range. I'll leave this as is for this example, and then you can name this report to be anything you would like so that you can quickly find it later again and use it again if you need to. Otherwise, you can click on View Report, and exactly what you had requested in the same order, you will have the training number, last name, first name, shift, completion status, date complete, and supervisor. So really helpful feature in case you are, looking for a specific report and that report does not have the columns you need. You can always use the report designers to design your own report. Alrighty, so those are the advanced reports. Down here at the bottom, just briefly wanted to mention, don't forget that you're actually able to add any report to your favorites, and then later, so what you would do is click on any report, click on add to favorites here at the top, go and select favorites from this dropdown, and it will show you just the reports that you added as favorites. You can also easily remove by clicking on the train or the report and then clicking on remove from favorites. All right, so this next feature is not advanced, but it is new. So I wanted to go over it so that everyone is aware that this is here because it should make your life a little easier and save you some time. So if you go to database administration and select globally update supervisor, you can quickly select any supervisor who is currently listed as the supervisor of all this employee, and then select any new supervisors. And then all you have to do is click the Move Employees button, and everybody who has this supervisor listed as their supervisor now will have the selected new supervisor listed for them. So that should save you some time so you don't have to manually go and update everyone's supervisor. All right, so I believe that's all the advanced topics. Please note we do have a video library available from our website. So if you go to libertylabs.com, at the top there should be a link for videos. So feel free to review the videos for other interfaces if you have both the client and the web interface. There's also a video for not advanced, but more of the beginner features and how to use TrainTrack. So if someone's brand new, you can point them towards that um, video library that will help. And there's also a ton of videos for individual topics. So if you want to watch a video just on importing data or just on creating employees or just on managing your lookup lists, there are videos. There's a ton of them listed there. And again, do not, again, feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. You can send us an email, send a chat through the live chat feature on our website. You can give us a call. We are here and more than happy to help. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.